Okay, so I will give you a little overview of my unit. So here is where some of the basic information lives on the Google Classroom. Mainly it's for the assessments, but it's also where I have the introduction to the unit. So students will come here, they'll click on that, and this will bring them to the Google site, which is right here. And like I'd said, this unit is on potatoes. So the reason that I chose potatoes is that I wanted to create a unit that connected three content areas: living environment, English, and global history. I also wanted to base it on a plant that they would be planting in their vegetable garden at the school. So I wanted to kind of connect a hands-on activity with other types of learning. There's a writing activity, a storyboard, and a lab. And it all had the commonality of the potato. And this is very beneficial for ELs. It helps reinforce vocabulary. Thematic units are generally a little bit easier and more helpful with learning and teaching with ELs. So once the students go into the Google Classroom, they will be directed to come here, which will bring them to the Google site. And then here's a little explanation, pretty brief, just that this unit's about potatoes and that each tab will have each assignment. So the first link, or the first tab, is for living environment. And here is where they can watch a YouTube video that I created that kind of gives an overview to the whole unit, and then specifically goes into crop rotation. And crop rotation is the concept that they'll be working with for living environment. They will watch an ed puzzle video that explains it and asks questions throughout. So that's kind of the formative assessment of this flip lesson. So the beginning of the flip lesson will be the YouTube video that I created, where I walk through a slide share, a Google slide that I created that has some visuals, kind of explaining what crop rotation is. And then I also show them a slide share that I found to kind of go in a little bit more depth. So between this and the video, they kind of get a good introduction to crop rotation. Answering the ed puzzle questions helps me assess kind of how much they've understood. And then they will come to class to take this quiz. And this quiz links them here, which is a Socrative quiz on crop rotation, comprised of a few multiple choice questions and true or false. So after that, students will then read an article on planting potatoes. When they get to this step, they'll have been introduced to Natural Reader, which I'll get into later, but they can use that to assist them with reading this article. And this will just kind of give some practical information as to, now that you've learned about crop rotation, how do we actually apply it in the garden? They'll take some pictures and videos of each other doing that, and then they will do the crop rotation lab in pairs, where they will also take pictures and videos as well, documenting the process, which will then all be put into a seesaw profile. So once they've completed the potato planting in the lab, the pictures and videos from those activities will live in a seesaw account. So it directs them to the Google site, or the Google Classroom, which then brings them to Seesaw. Okay. And then, so that is it for living environment. They've had an opportunity to watch a slideshow, and do an ed puzzle, watch a YouTube video, read an article, have a hands-on activity. For each subject, I've tried to implement reading, watching a video, and having a hands-on activity. Lots of visuals and hands-on application for them, which is particularly helpful for ELs. Then for English, I have them I've provided some information to help them write a persuasive essay. And writing a persuasive essay is an important component of taking the ELA, which they will be doing the following year in 11th grade. So in order to help them get ready for that and just kind of plant the seed, I provided some information on both sides of the argument around genetically modified organisms. And this was very easy to link to potatoes. So again, we see the theme of potatoes in this subject. So I've started this with a flipped lesson where they will watch an instructional video that I created to show them how to use Natural Reader. And Natural Reader is an app that takes text and it's a text-to-speech app where they can hear it in Spanish, they can slow down the speed if they want. So here I kind of show how you can copy and paste the text and put it in here. You can change the speaker, you can slow the speed, you can stop it, you can restart it. Just basically how they can use this tool to help them read online articles. Okay. Then they have an Ed Puzzle assignment where they will watch a video and answer some questions, kind of a little bit of a formative assessment on how much they've understood from the article and from the video. And then once they've done that, they will watch a instructional video on how to cite evidence from a text. This is a Shmoop MOOC video. So once they've completed that, in the classroom, they will have the opportunity to then practice citing evidence from the text. So I've asked them in this assignment to cite 3 pieces of evidence that support the idea that GMOs are bad for the environment. And with this one, I made this assignment specifically for L's. I made 2. This one's for L's, and the other would be for the more either advanced L's or non-L's. This one allows them to just cite 2 reasons and the opportunity to do it in Spanish if they would like. The other assignment for the more advanced learners is that they have to cite 3 pieces of evidence, and they have to do it in English. Okay. Then, once they've done that, now they have to do the other side. So looking at some positive benefits of GMOs. So there's a little Bill Nye interview, YouTube video, which I made sure that they could access subtitles if they want, which is really helpful for L's. And then an article, or a website rather, that has some information. It has a video, basically kind of supporting the idea of using GMOs and how it makes food safe and affordable. So the same thing, now they have to cite 3 pieces of evidence that support the idea that GMOs are good for the environment and good for us. And then that'll prepare them to then pick a side and develop it more, which they'll turn into an essay, which will live here. And then eventually, again, that essay outline will go to the Seesaw profile. So at this point, they've had pictures and videos from their potato planting and their lab, and then the outline for their persuasive essay. Okay. Then we move on to global history. So in global history, they will be learning about the history of the potato, its origins, and also about the Irish potato famine, which is a component of global history. They will watch a TED-Ed video and complete the think questions, which are multiple choice questions, and then come prepared to class to explore the dig deeper and discuss section. And also I posted a question for discussion through Google Classrooms on what is the relationship between crop rotation and the Irish potato famine. A little bit of having them kind of think on their own, but also referencing the fact that they've now learned about crop rotation in living environment as well. Okay, so they would discuss that question in class, and then they would learn. Then the next part would be, once they've learned a little bit more about the Irish potato famine, is using a storyboard to depict the life of a family living during the time of the Irish potato famine. So I created an instructional video for them to show them how to use a storyboard. Yep, that's what I clicked on right here. So at this point, they have pictures, they have videos, they have a writing sample, and now they have slightly more of like a creative visual that they are asked to create. That'll be assessed a little bit more on their creativity, their use of the different backgrounds, and kind of creating a conversation or comic between characters, so creating their characters and setting up a little bit of a dialogue. So this is their instructional video to show them how to use it. And then when they come into the classroom, they can kind of go ahead and start creating their story based on what they've been learning. And again, this will all be loaded up to their Seesaw online profile. And then lastly, here I have just kind of a list of all the due dates. This is just kind of like a way for them to comprehensively know what is due when, and then each assignment lives in the tab that it belongs to. So that's pretty much it. That's what the Google site looks like. This is what the Google Classroom looks like. The Seesaw is really the collaborative project. It's something where by taking photos and videos of each other that they're going to share that on Seesaw. So they really need to work with people in their classroom to make sure that they capture good videos of them from the planting and the lab and some good pictures. And then it'll also be used as a forum for them to provide feedback to each other on their work. So it's really a great platform. I'm really excited to use this. It's a really great platform for peer review, peer feedback, and just creating collaborative projects. Also, it's good to have portfolios, especially for ELs. It's kind of more of an authentic assessment of their learning rather than doing like a traditional test or essay. So try to create some different opportunities for them to display their knowledge. And one last feature about the Google Classroom that I created was that they can click on each tab depending on the subject to know what the assignments that are due for each one. And I just want to show you real quick with English. Here you can see I created 2 different assignments based on their level of proficiency or skill. And what I would do is make sure that it's only available to certain students, which assignment that they have to do. All right, I think that is everything. Thank you very much.